Hi friends, Erin from the Impatient Gardener here with a little bit of a delayed 10-minute Q&A. My schedule got all off kilter. I was obviously in a warmer place when I did my last Q&A, and then I came home and there's all kinds of things to do. So sorry, this one is like, we don't really have a schedule ever. This one is a little bit later than it should normally be, but we're back, we're here. We are going to do some postcards at the end of this video. So I will put some timestamps here. If you are only here for the postcards, you can just skip ahead to that. So let's get straight into the questions. And the first one I want to talk about, you might actually notice right now. So unbeknownst to me, you guys can hear the water running sound on these videos. And a couple of people mentioned it, and somebody mentioned, you know, your water feature is really distracting. So I want to show you what my water feature is, and you'll see why I don't have a lot of option on this. There is the water feature. You guys, it's my sump pump. Yeah, I'm filming in the basement, and I didn't really mention that because it doesn't matter, but that's where I've set up this little studio, and we have our water table here is so high that we have two sump pumps that run. There it is going off right now. We have two sump pumps that run nearly nonstop, particularly this time of year when snow is melting. So that is the sound of water entering the sump pump. So the main way to solve this is for me to not do videos here anymore, because I can't obviously make the water stop coming into the sump pump, nor would I want to. So deal with it for just a little bit in this one, and it's getting nice enough outside that I can get back outside. Again, this is just sort of my temporary solution to have a spot inside to be able to do things. I apologize, I didn't realize you could hear it that much. The next question I just want to address has come up a couple of times, but when I did the seed starting video, several people commented on the painting behind me. So let's just take a look at that and I'll tell you the story of that painting. Okay, so this is the painting that hangs behind me. Now the artist on this, since someone asked, is Dennis Conner. You will probably not know Dennis Conner as an artist, but you may know him as the winningest America's Cup skipper of all time. But it wasn't ours to begin with. So the scene that is depicted here is a scene on the Hauraki Gulf of New Zealand in Auckland. This is Rangitoto, which is this big mountainous volcano island in the middle of the Hauraki Gulf, kind of a major feature there. These are two America's Cup boats that were sailing. This is from the 99 to 2000 America's Cup. The power boat that you see here is the boat that Mr. Much More Patient and I worked on when we were in New Zealand. Mr. Much More Patient was one of the captains, and I was there as the media liaison because this was a boat that hosted ESPN and TV New Zealand on the water. So this is how they used to do this. They would have a boat. We went out every day. And so my job was to basically manage the TV crews and whatever else they needed, as well as help elsewhere on the boat. This painting was a gift from Dennis to the owners of the boat, who were who were our employers during that time. They gave us this painting as a wedding gift. So that's how this painting ended up here. It was a wedding gift to us. It was a wedding re-gift. I know I have some viewers here from New Zealand. If you were around and watched TV then, you probably saw me on TV when they had to fill time because all the filming was live. When they had to fill time, they would like interview random people. And because they got to know me well, a lot of times I would end up helping them fill time, which was fun, by the way. And this boat also, and somewhere around in my hem, was also featured on a stamp in New Zealand because this was a New Zealand built boat and it was quite a big deal at the time. So this is a wedding gift, and this is the painting. Okay, let's do some actual gardening questions now from a bunch of videos, primarily pulled from the last Q&A video, a couple others. So Brad asked, do you do all your own gardening? And the answer actually is no. So I do the vast majority of gardening here. Mr. Much More Patient helps me out mostly by cleaning up behind me. He is not actively planting unless we're digging big holes for trees or something like that. He very much just follows behind me and cleans up the disaster that I leave in my wake. But in addition to that, I do have another person who helps me, and I hope she'll be joining me again this year. 2 years ago, when I was preparing the garden for 2 photo shoots, the American Roots book photo shoot, and Better Homes and Gardens came here and shot the garden, and I'll tell you about that story in a second. I had to get some help because there was no way I could whip the garden into the kind of shape that is photo shoot ready by myself when I have a full-time job in addition to gardening, and also other things that I like to do, although that summer I pretty much did nothing else except for tend to the garden. So she's a lovely person. She's local. I actually met her. She works on one of our master gardening. She's not a master gardener, but she works on one of our master gardening projects. That's how I met her. She lived in Scotland for a time and volunteered in many of the public gardens there. She is a delightful person. She generally works about 5 hours a week, basically. I mean, some weeks when it's really busy or she has more time, it might be 10. Basically, she just helps me. She just does a lot of the stuff that I just can't quite get to. But she is an invaluable part of this garden. And if I have her permission this summer, and hopefully she comes back, maybe I'll be able to introduce you to her. Because she, more than anyone, has taught me the value of having another voice in your garden. When something isn't working, I will turn to her and say, what do you think? What's wrong here? And she knows she can be honest with me. She helps me troubleshoot problems. When we had those photo shoots coming up, and suddenly all the freaking hydrangeas were laying on the ground because we were in a massive drought and everything just tipped over. She helped me troubleshoot how we were going to solve these problems and helped me get there. And she's amazing, and I love her, and she's a good friend, and hopefully she comes back and I can introduce you to her. But so roughly 5 to 10 hours a week, I have some help because that was 2 years ago. She came back last summer, and I'm hoping she'll come back again because it really is a big help to me. Even for that bit of time, any help I can get is really valuable. As you know, my garden keeps getting bigger. I don't really intend for that to be the case. It just keeps happening, and it's going to happen again. I'll tell you about that soon. Kim says, what exactly is wrong with Miracle-Gro? In the seed starting gear video, I may have accidentally slipped that I don't like Miracle-Gro seed starting mix. Miracle-Gro sump pump. Listen, you guys, if you like it or that's all you can find, use it. I don't like Miracle-Gro products in part because I have some issues with the company in general, but they are hugely peat-based, and a lot of times that seed starting mix actually has really big chunks in it. So when I was using it, I found myself having to run it through a sieve anyways. It also has fertilizer in it, some sort of time-release fertilizer in it, so that makes it's not organic. Especially if I'm starting vegetables, most of the time I want to grow them organically if I'm not going to grow organic vegetables, because everything else I do is organic in the vegetable garden. So I would like it to be organic through the whole process, although I don't go so far as to buy organic seeds, because to me, maybe there's a difference. I haven't figured out yet, so I don't usually do that. But I want the whole process to be organic. Miracle-Gro is definitely not organic. And there's fertilizer in it. And, you know, I don't know how that all works, but, you know, it's not great to give seeds too much fertilizer, and I don't know how that time release works. Long story short, it's not that it's a terrible thing, it's that I don't prefer it. So that's the one that I just really, like, I will drive to a different store looking for something else rather than use that. If you use it and you like it, or it's literally the only thing you can find, run with it. You don't have to change your mind because of what I said. Marita says, what Nicotiana is your favorite? I know you planted a few different varieties last year, but I do love lime green. Yeah, you guys probably know that I have a little bit of an addiction to Nicotiana. I grow seeds of it every year. My favorite are the lime green varieties. So the taller one is just Nicotiana alata. It's just lime green. I think it's called lime green. I don't think that's a variety. I'm not fully sure. I think whatever. It's Nicotiana alata, lime green is the one you're looking for. But that gets the 3 feet tall maybe. So it's quite tall and floppy. So last year I have been growing an F1 hybrid, F1 perfume series, and there's several colors in it, including lime. I grew that last year in most of my beds and actually in containers. Liked it a lot. There are other colors in there too. There are other Nicotianas that are really, really beautiful. There's the Nicotiana mutabilis, and the ones that are the flowers change colors. So they'll start bright pink and then they fade to white. Those are very cool, very tall. Really, all the Nicotianas are worth growing. The only thing to be mindful of is the height. And the only ones I don't like growing are the ones that are grown for true bedding plants. Like these are the ones that are like 10 inches tall. I have no use for those whatsoever. But experiment with them a little bit because I think they're great plants and more people should grow them. Neri says, hello, Erin. I live in Utah, Zone 7B, cold and desert. What perennials would be best for my full sun area? So I'm always reluctant to recommend specific plants for areas that I don't personally have a lot of experience in. But generally, what I think I know about Utah and what you've described suggests to me that one place to start actually might be some prairie plants, because any sort of situation where you've got kind of thin soil and hot sun, prairie plants tend to do very good in that. So that's things like Achillea, yarrow, echinacea to a certain extent, rudbeckia. Think about things that, like actually natives. There's a lot of natives that I think would work in that area very well. Natives are great to grow and play with. So those are some that I think you should look at to try. Obviously, there are some grasses that would certainly do well there, but not everybody likes ornamental grasses. Long story short, that's not super helpful. You should look for some regional sources that can help you guide that a little bit more. There might be like a regional gardening magazine, perhaps a regional garden blogger, or a Master Gardener program. Speaking of the Master Gardener program, there's a lot of discussion with that because I talked about the Master Gardener program in the last Q&A. And one person said that they had kind of I got the impression that they had kind of a bad opinion of Master Gardeners in general because they'd been through the program and they just took the classes and left and actually weren't really that satisfied with what they learned. And that's totally fine, by the way. But that some of the people they took the classes with, they felt like they know way more than those people. The Master Gardener program is one of those things where, it's a representation of a large group of people. And anytime you have that, you're going to have people who are good at it and know what they're talking about, and you're going to have people who think they know what they're talking about and they don't. And so there is a bit of a reputation problem with the Master Gardener program. In fact, there are some plant people. Actually, I will say this: Marianne Wilburn, who is a friend of mine, just wrote a garden rant column on Garden Rant about some Master Gardener who told her that she shouldn't be growing hellebores or something. And that kind of thing puts a really bad taste in people's mouth, and that creates a really bad impression of Master Gardeners in general. And that is why some people may think less of a person who is a Master Gardener because they've had a bad experience with somebody and they think everybody's the same. And whatever, you're going to think what you're going to think. Here's my thought on this. It's no different than any other group. There are great arborists and there are terrible arborists. There are great certified arborists and there are bad certified arborists. And I can tell you that in some case because last week I mentioned that I was taking this plant disease program. And that's open. That's not just open to Master Gardeners, actually. That was open to all sorts of people. And there are some people in that class who are arborists who basically just said outright, I am only here to get my certified credits. What do I have to do to just skip to the quizzes? Because you can take the quizzes till you get them right. So, that person is not going to learn anything in this course. That is going to happen with every group of people you run across. There are going to be good ones. There's going to be bad ones. Like everything, I think we all need to recognize that and not let the bad ones, change your opinion of everybody else. Kristen, is there one annual you plant every year? There are several annuals that I plant every year. Nicotiana is number one on the list. Nasturtiums are maybe my number one because they are the most useful thing I grow from seed. They are problem solver plants. They fill in gaps. You pop them in the ground. They grow super easy. They're just no-brainer plants. In the past many years, I've been growing snapdragons every year, and I feel like that's probably one that will stay. So those are all annuals. And I wonder, hang on, did she ask specifically from seed? Oh, and you might be, those are all things I grow from seed. In terms of like plants, you know, there probably are things that I grow every year, but I also like to change that up quite a bit. So whereas, you know, like one year I might grow a ton of petunias or something. Like these days, like I'm growing petunias because I want to try out the new varieties because a lot of people like them. But personally, sometimes I look for an alternative to those just because I'm just a little sick of them. So I sort of run through these, I sort of run through phases on that stuff. Okay, that is it for the Q&A portion of this. We might actually be close to 10 minutes or not. I don't have the timer going here. I put it up on the screen afterwards. But I want to roll into postcards. So first of all, if you have a question, I do go through the videos from the week, but I really look through these Q&A videos to look for questions that people are asking. And the postcard thing, if you're not familiar, I have been asking people, I have the stack right here. I have been asking people this year to share a postcard or a card, whatever, with a note from their favorite garden. So if they're out visiting a garden, let me know what you found inspirational there or loved there. And we are a little bit behind on these. I have a really nice stack of them. So we're going to roll into those. So if you only are here for the questions, have a great day. If you're only here for the postcards, welcome. And if you're here for the whole thing, sit down and enjoy. So this first one is from Arctic Norway. Hello, how amazing is that? Hi Erin, cloudberries grow well along the northern coast of Norway in the Arctic tundra. Cloudberries start out red and turn yellow or orange as they ripen. I just returned from a cruise up the western coastline of Norway and we were served this wonderful little berry. Who travels to Norway in winter? Anyone who wants to see the northern lights. We saw the aurora 4 times. That is amazing. This is from Barb. Thank you for sharing that. That sounds like a pretty fabulous and delightful cruise. I have been fortunate enough, by the way, to see the northern lights a couple of times on Lake Michigan. They're not as beautiful probably as they are up north, but when you're in the middle of Lake Michigan and there are no city lights around, they are actually pretty amazing sometimes. Okay, here is a beautiful postcard of just gorgeous place. This is from the Miami Beach Botanical Garden. It has been so unseasonably cold back home in Salt Lake. I came down to Miami to get a little sun before I have to start sowing seeds indoors. This South Beach Botanical Garden was lovely, and I even came away with some landscaping ideas. And I have to peel the sticker off to see who sent me this, unfortunately. Hold on. Here's to spring. Cheers, Maylene. Thank you. That is delightful. Pam, who gets the award for sending the most postcards, has sent this beauty of, this is an orchid on here. I took a break from New England cold and gray to spend time in one of my favorite gardens, St. John USVI. This blue orchid, aka Blue Vanda, autumn lady tresses, botanical name Vanda Cerealia, is probably not indigenous, but dressed the set nicely. Beautiful. Thank you, Pam. Thanks for all your postcards, Pam. Oh, this is a fabulous one, you guys. This is like a vintage postcard. I love this. This is from Fritch's Big Boy Dining and Car Service in Plymouth, Ohio. I love this card. Okay, I enjoy your show and your personality. The give it a try is important, rolling with life and Mother Nature. Trees are a favorite of mine. Keep on making life good. That's from Chris. Love it. Thank you so much. That's a great one. I do have some cards in here. Let's just open those up. Oh, this is some beautiful, gorgeous seed paper, I think. Erin, I am breaking all kinds of rules, but I thought it'd be fun to send you seed paper to see if it would grow in your garden. That is so cool. This was in absence of any good garden postcards. The paper was from Makers of Hyssop Lane in Virginia and contains milkweed, hyssop, bee balm, cosmos, zinnia, blazing star, salvia, and echinacea. Good luck. I was going to mail it as postcard, but already one seed came off. This is from Sonia in Overland Park, Kansas. Love it. That is so cool. And yes, I will give that a try. I've never tried growing seed paper. I always was kind of skeptical of it, honestly. Here we have some beautiful dahlias. Dear Erin, thank you so much for your wisdom, joy, and delightful eccentricity. You inspire me so much. Keep spreading your love and light all over the world. Well, that's very kind. That's from Christina. That's really nice. There's something inside of this one. Hi, Erin. I've been loving your videos for 2 years. I recently heard you say that you wanted some bulb plants for your family pool. I grew these last year and they are great. It's Gloriosa Daisy. They are in the family of Rudbeckia, but only better. Stems are super sturdy to stand up to wind. 24-inch height. 5-inch flowers are medium yellow and fade down to a cinnamon at its base. I hope these do well from you. This is from Harold. Harold, thank you so much. Harold was my grandfather's name, and so I am quite partial to that name. Here is a beautiful postcard from Canada showing lupins, which I have tried to grow. They last 1 year here. They don't really like it. We don't have enough acidity for them. Hi, Erin. Visiting Prince Edward Island, Canada, when the lupins are blooming is pure bliss. Natural nature at its best. Cheers, Jennifer from Hamilton, Ontario. That is gorgeous. And the information on the postcard says, I'll wait for the sump pump. Lupins bloom abundantly along the roadside of Canada's Atlantic provinces in June and July. Among the most attractive and colorful wildflowers, they bear tall, graceful spikes of flowers in a wide range of colors. This one is from New York Botanic Garden. I have visited New York Botanical Garden twice. The volunteer lead tours are great. I learned how to identify trees on a native plant tour. It is also a great place to meander with a friend. I enjoy your videos. This is from Betty. Look at that. That's beautiful. That is one of the gardens I have not gotten to, and I don't know how that's happened. It is on my list for sure, and it probably should be on yours too. Here is a gorgeous photo of tulips from the Garvin Woodland Gardens in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Dear Erin, to have discovered your YouTube program was a milestone that's continued educating and entertaining. Tea Time Tuesday was also enjoyed for gardening until it went off the air. This is from Gordon. Thank you. That's wonderful. What a beautiful photo too. Another dahlia one. This is beautiful. Hi Erin, greetings from Ventura, California. This photo is from a bouquet I grew in my yard, my favorite dahlias. This photo inspires me, and remembering the beauty of summer makes the cool seasons better. This is Julie at Instagram. She's Ventura Coast Dahlias. She says, thank you for your lovely presence. You inspire me. That is a stunning photo and makes me desperately excited for dahlia season. Oh, this is a cool postcard, you guys. Oh, this is beautiful. I'll make sure to really get a close-up of this. This is a gorgeous postcard from Kew Gardens. Talk about bucket list gardens I need to visit. Kew Gardens. That's the Royal Botanic Garden in England. Yes, Kew is magical. My friend volunteers there once a week. Lucky man, right? That's from Libby. Thank you, Libby. That's wonderful. Oh, here we go. This is from... Oh, this is the Cactus Garden at Lotus Land, which I also would like to get to someday. That's a 37-acre botanic garden in the foothills of Montecito in California. Okay, we had the joy of visiting in summer 2022 when all the cacti were blooming. Some with daisy-like flowers up full height, others like giant hibiscus the size of your head. So many pollinators thriving in low water garden. You know, I love visiting these kinds of gardens. I could never have a garden like this, but it's so important to see the beauty in other types of gardens because no garden like mine should be in a place like this. You know, like there's beauty to be had in every kind of garden you can do. And, you know, this is gorgeous. Oh, this is from Monticello. You guys, I haven't been to Monticello either. And I almost was going to go next week and I wasn't able to make that happen as part of a trip I'm doing next week, which is actually this week when you read this. Watch this, whatever you're doing with this. Dear Erin, I'm inspired by all who grow in containers. Just moved to South Carolina Zone 8 and starting from scratch in terrible soil. Year 1, just applying amendments, compost, cardboard, and mulch to new beds. So zinnias and dahlias and pots will be the go-to plants for color in year 2, 2023. Love how you share your knowledge. Hugs to you all, especially Odin and Dorothy. This is from Sally in Conway, South Carolina. Thank you for that, Sally. Good luck with everything. I've said it before, moving to a new garden in a different kind of climate would be very intimidating and a really big challenge, and I'm sure you'll do great with it. Oh, we've got, okay, so this is a postcard right here. But there's also some photos included, and they're beautiful. So let's see what this one says. Hi, Erin. My name is Agnes. Just got her last name in there. This is my personal fairy garden that my husband and I have been working on for 15 years. We live in New Jersey, USA, Zone 5B. And it's beautiful. I'll make sure to share nice pictures here. I think this is the before picture and the after picture. And these before and after pictures, take them for yourselves every time, you guys. It's so amazing. You don't think you've come that far, and then you look at where you were. And that is a great example of how amazing that can be. You guys, we have got good international postcards. This is from the Royal Botanic Garden in Edinburgh. Hi, Erin. Yes, this was spectacular, even in January. I'm hoping to revisit in summer. Edinburgh is truly a wonderful city. This is from Libby. Lucky, lucky. I got some traveling to do. I got to get on it. Oh, here is one, and I'm looking at the return address, and they are essentially a neighbor. They're in a town right next door. Oh, look at this beautiful place. Where did she go? Oh, this is Giverny. This is Claude Monet's garden. Thank you once again for inspiring me. My garden photos and memories of past trips were a great way to spend a snowy afternoon in Wisconsin. Giverny was the ultimate destination for gardeners. I loved the way the beds were packed with flowers in all sorts of color combinations. Any more thoughts of your taking a group on a tour? You are my inspiration. Yeah, so I had kind of taken a little bit of a poll. I did have a company who wants to work with me to take people on a garden tour. And I've just been sort of toying with that idea. I have a scheduling problem with that. It's a little bit tough for me to find time in a schedule. And I also just get a little nervous. Like if I'm going to sell something like that, like I want to make sure it's going to be really good. I don't want people to spend their money, and these trips are not cheap. I don't want people to spend their money to go on a trip and then not have everything be really good, even if it's out of my control what happens. So I want to, that's where I'm at with that. So I've just sort of, it's in the background there. Nothing has happened on that yet. If you guys have thoughts on that, you can share them. But I only want it to be, I only want to do it if everyone's going to, people are going to have a good experience because, and there's a lot of gardening stuff in it. In addition to fun stuff that you see when you go somewhere. That's where that's at. That is this week's postcards. Actually, it's from a couple of weeks because I wasn't able to get to the mailbox while I was on vacation. If you are traveling somewhere or want to share a memory of a garden you have visited, that could be a fabulous famous garden or a garden down the street, send me a postcard. Address is in the description box below. And I'm going to do something fun with all these postcards, but I'm saving all of them. And we're going to do something fun with all these soon. That's it. Thanks for watching if you made it all the way through. I have a little bit of a backlog of videos right now. So as soon as I can get things up and edited, there might be a bit of a glut of videos coming out. Doing a little bit of traveling at the end of this week. Hoping to get a glimpse of the cherry blossoms in Washington, D.C. if they're out, because I'm making about a 24-hour trip through that area. All right, have a great week. Talk to you soon. Thanks as always for watching, sending in your questions and sending in your postcards. I love you guys. All right, bye.